Hi, it's Kim from Chatterbox Quilts. I want to give you a quick overview of how to do fusible web applique. So a few things you need to do, or to have I should say, before you start. That is, of course, fusible web. I also like to use either an applique pressing sheet or parchment paper. If you don't have one, works as well. You need something to draw with, and it has to be permanent. So I'm using a Sharpie permanent marker. It's the ultra fine point one that Sharpie makes. You also need scissors, and you need an iron and a pressing surface, of course. So I have a pattern here, and this is a little cloud just to demonstrate. And so I have my pattern, and what I would need to do is to trace it on the fusible web. So you just put the fusible web over top, and you're going to trace that design onto the fusible web. Now there's a paper side of it, that's where you want to trace on. So your rough glue side is down. Once you've traced it, you're going to have a shape that looks like this. All right, and I like to mark on that what the shape is, because I'm tracing a whole bunch, I don't want to get confused later on, and even the fabric I'm using as well. You'll notice I've cut it out, leaving a border around the shape. Next step would be to take this and fuse it onto the back side or wrong side of your fabric. And then you'll be able to cut the shape out exactly on that drawn line, and you'll have a shape that looks like this. All right, so you've got that fusible on the back of it. Now you want to put it together with perhaps some other pieces. In this particular case, I have some other pieces that go with it, and this is where the parchment paper or the applique pressing sheet comes in handy. I have a fusing guide that shows me how these parts all come together, and I need my iron too, of course, to fuse it. Now I want to put it on the applique pressing sheet to fuse, because then I'm going to have a solid unit that I can just lift off and put it on my background fabric. So just referring to the fusing guide, if you don't have a fusing guide in your pattern, you can look at the picture that comes with the pattern. That also will help. So I'm just going to put this down here. Actually, I need to put these ones together first. So let's get these together. So these are going to go together here, and this little piece is going together here. Let's get that on there. There we go. I'll just press it down. So when you use the applique pressing sheet or you use parchment paper, you'll be able to peel this off later on, and it'll still be sticky on the back to use on your background fabric. Let me just peel this off. Be careful using the applique pressing sheet, it is very hot afterwards. So this is the part here that I have, and then the little cloud bit, the white part of the cloud anyway, goes on the front of it. Just move this over to get it in shape. So it's going to overlap a little bit at the front. Okay, so roughly like that. And you can always adjust this before you fuse it. All right. If you have any little pieces that are overlapping, like this one is a little bit overlapping, I can just trim that off. Trim this little piece off if I want. So you can always do that afterwards. But I've got my little cloud there, and now I can put it on my background fabric. So you would just take your background fabric and you would just put that down wherever you want to, where the pattern indicates it, and you would just fuse it down, and then you're all set. Next step would just be to finish off the edges with your preferred method of doing that.